So, hello everybody. So, this is a very simple meeting about non duality, and non duality means only not two. It's not a special word, it's not something you can reach or you don't need to talk about it. It's just very normal not two. And what is meant by not two is that normally everything is in two, like me and you, and before and after, and right and wrong. So in that way, there's always two, and there's going from this to that. And normally, when there's I am me and I'm here and this is my life and I'm living my life, then there's looking at yourself. So when there's looking at yourself, that's also too. I'm looking at myself and I can see what's going on. I can think about it and reflect it and do things about that. When there's no me, when they're saying there's no one and everything is lost, that also what's lost is that awareness, that noticing, that looking at yourself. And then suddenly it's very obvious that there's no right and no wrong. It's only in the story, but there seems to be I am here and you are there and this is me and I have to live my life, then there seems to be right and wrong. It's not so much that it's solid, because there's a lot of people that think this is right and other people think this is wrong and all that. So it's very complicated, right and wrong. But that's it's more like that it's what it is. What it's when they're saying it's right or wrong or it's better or worse, it's better or worse for me. When there's me and my life and all that, I want to feel good. There's something going on, like I'm not this is not good enough. I'm not good enough. There's something wrong. There's something missing, maybe in yourself or maybe in the world. It's not enough. And then there's looking for something better, for something more complete or right. And then that's seeing, then there's a talk about that's a misunderstanding. There's no right, there's no wrong. Life is complete as it is. It doesn't mean it's nice. That has nothing to do with that. But there's no you. There's no me. There's no us. There's no one inside. We assume that's very strong from very young age. There's that assumption and that belief that there's someone inside, and there's being able to decide and with your free will and choice to make things better or different. And then thinking is the way that you think about yourself and trying to find out what's the best way or read it somewhere and then trying to do it. Thinking is only thinking. There's nothing helping me to get better. There is no me. There's no one. And on top of that, everything is an appearance. Nothing is real. And when there's that separation, that I'm here and I am seeing the world and I'm seeing other people, then suddenly everything seems more solid and real and we can abstract. So there's behind and before, and there's living in time. Suddenly there's time before, after, and also distance. I'm here and that's over there. And there's a whole story with that, trying to reach something because it seems like there's a meaning, there's something happening, and this is important. So there's a lot of thinking about it and thinking, looking for meaning of life, maybe. And there's also going on that I have to make it right myself, maybe, or something in the world, or something else. There's nothing wrong with anything. It's what it is. It's not saying that to yourself or saying that to that person because that's a new way of living. This is not a way of living. There's no one, so there's no way of living. There's only what is apparently happening. That's everything. And there's nothing better than something else. It can't be. It's what it is. There can be feelings, pain, the table. Life is also not about you or me. Life doesn't see you or an individual like that. It's everything. So it's energetic. It's going in a certain way. It's random like that. And we think it's about us. And when it's not going in a way we don't feel good about, or there's pain or something, then it seems like it's not fair and we have to do something about it. So we assume always that life is about me and it's happening to me. Feelings are mine, thoughts are mine. So when there's hearing, there's no one. That whole story can't go on. There's no story. Me is the story. So when there's no story, there's only that what is happening. It's very simple and ordinary. And there's no before and after. So there's no continuation. So there's no Roes. There's not only Roes has no me or something like that. No, there's already, it is already like there's no Roes. There can be talking in the story and that still goes on, and being able to abstract still goes on. So there can be seemingly a story. But it's just a story. Nothing is real. It's not really happening. And that's crazy because when we're living in all that with circumstances and pain and diseases and the floor and streets and countries, it seems so real and everything is solid. Even that there's a world, that seems so real. And then hearing this, no, there's no world. That's information, that's abstracting what is. There's only this. There's this maybe room, a wall, walling. That's everything. When they're talking about this is everything, it's just a normal everything, not with a capital or special. Nothing is special. It's very normal. It's very normal, very ordinary. Walking, feelings, thoughts can happen. Everything can happen. It's the same. Then suddenly you could say when that whole construct that trying to make it right and being busy with everything, that suddenly stops. There's no change because it was already what is. It seemed like I can do something about it, and being busy with that, that's normally the normal way of what's going on, and being busy with what's happening and what can I do about it and how can I treat it or how can I deal with what's going on. There's no choice. There's no one. It's not happening to someone. It's what apparently is happening. So there's no choice and no free will. In another way, you could say also there's no control, but there never was control. We are so busy with trying to control our life and making it in the right way or earning enough to feel good, all that. We don't do that. It's life. There's no one. There's no one doing anything because there's already no one. It's empty. So we can talk about that, and maybe there are questions in the story. Maybe there are all kind of questions. Maybe they're sharing. There can be a saying something if you want to. So you can unmute yourself if you want to say something, or you can also type something in the chat. But it can be saying nothing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's happening. There's no way, there's nowhere to go. There's no way to go. It's already this, what's going on. And maybe there's sitting or there's walling, computering. That's everything. And it changes, but not for anyone. It's very simple and tiny and ordinary. there's something saying, I read something beautiful today. Nothing has to be discovered because nothing is hidden. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's our being able to abstract that things are hidden and it should be like that and maybe I can't see it yet and all that. There's so many ideas and beliefs about what has to happen. Nothing has to happen. Nothing has to be discovered. No, it's already what is. And there can be like, oh, there's feeling something, and maybe behind that there's something else going on. That's also an idea. When there's feeling in a subtle way, there's sadness, then that's what's happening. Not that it's not enough. Can't be wrong. It can't be wrong. It's exactly what's going on. It's complete as it is. It's also with knowledge. Knowledge is a very knowing is a very strong way to try to deal with life and to make things more comfortable. And when there's more knowing, that then maybe everything is going better. So when that's very strong in life, then there's coming to this kind of meetings, and there seems to be trying to understand what's going on and what's being said and how things are and all that. There's also no need to understand this. There's no need. That's strange because normally we're so used that it's about understanding. That's clarity can be very helpful in things, but there's no one. So it's not helpful for anyone. When it's helpful, it seems like it's helpful for someone, and it's confirming that there's still something not right yet. So it's the same story again. There's nothing wrong with what is seen. Or maybe it's like, I don't see that there's no one, or not see. I'm not seeing there's no one. It's not. It's more the other way around. How do you know? It's empty. It's just that face or that front of that body. There's not seeing anyone inside, or it's very literally. It has nothing to do with knowing or clarity or things like that. Just some practical thing. Just sorry, but it's like there's tomorrow, there's no Zoom meeting because I have a meeting, a live meeting in Amsterdam. So if you can come to the live meeting, you're very welcome. But there's no Zoom meeting tomorrow. Sorry. Sometimes it looks like seeing an appearance. It can be. It can be that suddenly it's seeing like it's energy. The wall is walling. It's energy. It's not really solid. Maybe you can't even say it or understand it, but it can be seeing like that. And there's somebody else. This message seems to continue on a loop with the same thing said each time. Is that not coming to a conclusion? No, that's normally how we think. That's preparing, it's making it up, and then finally there's a conclusion. No, it's just coming. So there's nothing going on like a conclusion or something like that. It's just no one. And then suddenly there's a lot of things said about how it's a description, you could say, like how life is going on and how things happening. This is not the truth. It's just a description, a suggestion also that there's no one inside. That's, if you see it as a no conclusion, is not really. No. It seems like it's being said the same thing again and again, but in the same time, you could say no. It's new. It's always new. Always, it's new. There's nothing said in the same way, and it seems like it's the same words, but still, it's new. It's energetic. And sometimes there's hearing a lot of times the same thing, and then suddenly, oh, what's there? And there's an opening. I don't know how that works, but it seems to go like that. There's no reason for doing that. It's just what's going on. So there's just words coming or not. And it's everywhere like that. So it's not about the words. It's even the content is not important. It's not important. That's crazy. We were in Hungary and there were a lot of people. They didn't speak English, so they didn't understand what was being said. And it was so energetic and people get tired and there was a lot of laughing and it's amazing. It has nothing to do with the words either. It can be more clear sometimes. That can be nice. But it has nothing to do with with this message. Already it's already what is going on. So there's no need for anything. This doesn't go anywhere, this meeting. That's strange because we are not used to that. We're used to go anywhere and to maybe understand and come to a point and that. And this is the other way. It's like, oh, it's about loss. It's not, there's no being busy with what's going on and how to do it and all that. So there can be a relief or a falling apart of that searching and trying to make it right. Yeah, in Hungary there was no translation. There were people translating for each other. Well, I like that because that when there's a translation, then it's very solid. And now there were people trying to translate with each other sometimes, and it was really, really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it look like going out for shopping in the same city where I do the shopping. It's for the first time.
Yeah, can be. Yeah, sure, can
Yeah.
be.
And then it's really amazing how the city is.
Yeah, yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, like a tourist, like suddenly they're seeing it in a different way, of
Yeah.
new.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. It is new. It is. it's new. There's nothing before. That's why when there can be a dissatisfaction, when there's living living, I'm living my life, and there's time, and every day I have to go out and walking in the same street, and and then it gets a bit boring. It's not satisfying because it's not happening what you really want to, and all that, because there's looking for something else. It's not seeing that it's new. Everything is new, and it's not happening for you. There is no one. There is no one. So it's new. There's no time. There's no before. There's it's so much, but it's so like stunning that it's new. Not in a always in a fresh way like new leaves or something like that. But it's new. Yeah. This thing. And there's still something like when I go to a meeting that I have to improve myself. Well, that's so strong. There's so many people that feeling that this is not enough. Not an I'm not enough, I'm not good enough. There's something not enough. It's not yet happening. There's still a me, or all kind of things. It's so embodied. That's so strong, that feeling there should be happening something. Oh, I don't see that new, or because we have an idea that it's always something else at what we are doing now. It's not heard, and you can't do anything about that. But it's not heard that this how it's going, exactly how it's going, how the face is looking, how the wall is walling in that way, or how the table. It's exactly that how it is seen when there's someone and it's seen in a certain way. Then it's that. It can't be wrong. That's amazing. That's so stunning. We are so into their scene. Maybe not the word right and wrong, but then they're subtly improving or more natural, or there's so many words and so many ideas about how to make it better and all that. And hearing, it's already complete. It's That's stunning. It's like it's already exactly how it is, complete as it is. It has nothing to do with nice or feeling good. That's the misunderstanding. It's always about feeling good or relaxed or nice or beautiful, things like that. This has nothing to do with that. It's what it is. And it's not about accepting it. There's no one. So it's singular. It's only that. It's walling, sitting, feeling, table. It's everything. And it's everything. Everything. So there's nowhere to go. It's intimate. It's life is everything. You can't escape it. It's everything. It's hand. It's where it's you can't escape it.
But then it's so simple.
Oh, yeah. 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 Yeah, that's it. Mm. Yeah. Nothing roding. Yeah. Mm. So also no stories about old energies and nothing to improve. There are no old energy. In the story there can be anything. The mind and the brain can invent and assume and talk about everything. Angels, old stories, past lives, everything. Yeah. This is only saying it's what it is. It's very simple. It has nothing to do with the story. There is no story. There is no one. When there's no one, then there's no story. So it's not about you or me or anyone else. That can be seeing a body. Then that body is there. Yeah, that's it. Me is the story. No me, no story. Where's the story? It's the table. Yeah, table. Like little children. They can't live in time and distance and all that. I don't understand that. It's just going like that. And that's the same here. It's the same here. The only difference can be that there's a lot of ideas about what's going on and how it should be and all that. That all those ideas can be there. That's not wrong, but it's a lot of energy and it's going nowhere. Doesn't mean anything. Well, it can be there. Yeah. And they're stable. Yeah.
Hey Rose.
Hey, hi.
Hi. I have an interesting question, and I just thought about this. I had a dream last night, and I realized that I have never seen myself in the dream. Like I have never seen my own, like what I think my face is, right?
Ah,
like it feels like it's me, right? Because sometimes there's places and things and people that I feel like I know, but I realized that I've never actually seen my like I've seen maybe my arm or my hand, but I've never seen my face. So I can't confirm who that actually is. If it's silly or not.
oh, that's interesting. Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
I don't know if that's silly or not because I asked my mom and she's like, no, I definitely know it's me in the dream. I'm like, well, how do you know that? Have you seen yourself? She's like, no. I'm like, well,
How do you know? Yeah, yeah. Well, that's with everything. How do you know? Well, that's so. It's not even about that. Doesn't feel like I know it, but it's so normal or it's so quick that it's like, yeah, that's it. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
Or how
convincing.
like something could seem so important and then literally the next second it's gone, it's
Yeah,
completely gone from
yeah,
the thoughts gone, you're like, oh my god, as if
yeah,
it's so interesting how, like, I don't know, I notice things like that now. I guess it's so fast that if you
yeah,
don't really you I guess you
yeah,
don't really pay
yeah,
attention, right?
yeah, yeah. But yeah, sure. And then maybe somebody else doesn't see it, but it's already the attention is somewhere else, or and it's going, yeah, it's like that, and it's that the brain is filling in the gaps, and it seems like a story still. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, it's amazing how that's going. If there's some, it's not seeing that in not being convinced in that strong way, and it's suddenly less. Then suddenly it's like, oh, how could I believe that? Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
can be.
Yeah, that's all I keep asking myself nowadays is like, oh my God, I can't believe I was so bad. Like,
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. But it's so convincing. You can't even not do that
yes.
because it's so energetic. It's so
Yeah.
embodied in the body. So,
Oh, I
yeah,
feel like everything confirms it. Like you can
yeah,
try to pretend that it doesn't, but
yeah,
in one
yeah,
second, somebody can show up, something can happen, and boom, right
yeah,
back at it. Like
yeah, sure.
just going, you know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
pretty incredible.
yeah. It's so strong.
Oh,
And it can be suddenly, it can be not that strong. And then maybe after a moment, it's back again. Yeah, of course. You can't say how it's going. Yeah. It's
yeah.
not like gradual or things like that. It doesn't need to be. No.
Yeah, I went to see a doctor, a gastroenterologist, last month, and it's so funny because he's such a good, like, he's a great doctor. He believes in other things and whatnot, but still, he's like, and I'm like, is this going to help me? Like, do you really think that this is going to go through the body and it's going? He's like, honestly, we really don't know what we're doing. That's the best answer I could
Oh
give.
God! I hear more doctors saying that
Yeah,
there's so much we don't know. We assume it's like that, and we hope it works, but we don't
yeah.
know.
They're like,
Yeah, of course.
different things. You can try this, and then
Yeah,
maybe if it does,
yeah,
it. And I'm like,
yeah.
okay, but I was. That's great that I will try it. He's like, yeah, it's kind of like trial and error, and
Uh,
it's so funny too. Like you do, like the intuition factor is interesting because like I knew it was nothing. Like I knew it, and then it's when it confirmed that I'm like, why did I just go there and waste
yeah, yeah,
time?
yeah, yeah. And it's just going like that. It's just there's no option of no like, oh, can I decide? No, it's just going to the
Yeah.
doctor. Yeah, it's just going. Maybe there's deciding I won't go, and then suddenly you sit there. Can
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
just sitting there and you're like, look at this. I can't believe I'm sitting here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's also very evident that you can't, like, there's no control at all with like animals. Like my cat, he
Yeah.
got really
Yeah.
sick out of nowhere. And I
Mm.
there's no way that he could have ate something off the floor because I have nothing laying around. And I try to go around like crazy, try to help him, and it was completely evident that there was nothing that I can do, and he just has to like ride it out.
Yeah.
And after 4 days, he just spruced up out of nowhere and was like, "Okay, I'm over it."
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah. Yeah.
and
Can
and
yeah.
but the instinct is like, oh, I want to do something. I want to help. I want
Yeah,
to
of
help him.
course.
And
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, how can you help? Well, it's like,
Yeah, that's so strong also, wanting to
yeah,
help and to cure and
yeah,
all that.
because
Oh,
you want to
yeah.
be the hero. I always wanted to be the hero. I know
Yeah, but
better,
it's
you
just
know.
also it's very sweet, but it's also to feel
Yeah.
good. You don't you want to feel good about yourself. It's
Yes, of
just
course.
subtly itself something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I never want to feel bad. Why would I ever want to feel bad?
Of course, yeah. And you can say it, but in that situation, it's suddenly coming out in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So,
wanted to ask you, I once heard, I think it was Dr. David Hawkins. I think he said that the individual consciousness is kind of like the nature of it is kind of naive, like naivete, where it's like it doesn't like it doesn't see itself, it doesn't know itself, and therefore, because the question that I had posed was, what in my life, at least, whatever happens here is that I make the same type of, it seems like an error, like it's the same situation, the same thing, years
mm,
apart, and it feels like it just doesn't understand. And I always had a question of like, is it just silly? Is it like
uh,
what's the like, why does it keep doing the same thing over and over again?
yeah, yeah.
It's
Well,
so
it's not
interesting.
the same thing. It's not the same thing. It seems like that. And there's looking at it and they're
Mm,
seeing something, there's something
right.
going wrong because I'm doing this and all. It's not the same thing. It's just that what's going on.
Mm.
We're so into like it has to be a conclusion or it has to be going, finally understanding or all that. There's no meaning in life. It doesn't go anywhere. There's no meaning. Then there's 5 times walking and then, but it's still different. It's just that. Yes, and so what?
Yeah, that's
It doesn't mean, and life doesn't mean anything. We think that there's a meaning and it's important. Where is it? It's just, that's the freedom, that's the joy. It's just what's going. And it's not joy that it's always nice or in that way joy, but it's like it's it's alive. Pain or sad or anything. Yeah. Or
Yeah.
driving around. Yeah. So what? Yeah.
Tell my boss that I didn't do it. So what?
Yeah. So what? Why can't I do that? Hello. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and things really do get done. Like if you really like slow
Mm,
down and look at like work, like what is even like I don't know what's happening with work. Like what
yeah. Yeah.
how do I even do what I do? Like I
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like,
Yeah.
no, this there's no things just they get done. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have a feeling that I'm sitting there and I'm actually figuring it out. I'm
It's
like, how can you figure it out?
it's amazing that work that it suddenly is done and then there's a conclusion or maybe there's written down things.
Yeah.
Amazing. Wow, it's a miracle how that's going. Yeah. 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 Mhm.
Cool. Thank you. Always nice to speak with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Thanks. Are you drinking whiskey? No, I don't like whiskey. It's tea. I don't like whiskey. No. Ugh. Can you say something more about this is happening and this is not happening and this is not even happening? Yeah, there's nothing happening. That's crazy because we're so into everything is real and there's time and there's before and there's now and there's maybe a future and this is it's happening to me and all that. And then there's, how can you say it? There can be pain. Look, and then in the same time, it's an appearance and it's not even happening. How can you explain that? But it's like that. Pain is maybe pain or a feeling or the table is an appearance. So it's not real. And it's not happening.
Yeah. Yeah, how you say that, then it's immediately clear.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
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 Mm. Mm. Yeah. I'm so touched by this message, which is not even a message. No, it's not a message. It's just a saying or suggestion. You could say a suggestion that there's no one, nothing is happening. And it's not even about understanding that. It's somewhere there can be a resonance or recognize. And not even being able to say it to somebody else or say it to yourself. It's somewhere there's some bells are ringing. It's like that. Can be.
Yeah, and there was a client, and she still wants to work on a trauma.
Yeah, a lot of people want to work on the trauma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And I can't make her clear that it's not working.
But then that's what's going on. Sometimes it can, sometimes it doesn't. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't. It's just what there can be saying something about it, or maybe not. It's what's happening. So there's no one. So there's not even that person is not real. Is that
Yeah.
there can be that body, then that's what's going on. And
Yeah.
then there's nothing going wrong, you could say in that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Here is so I also feel sympathy or I don't know what the right word is for that, but
Mm.
so I move a little bit with her and then I can't go and then I just sent a heart.
Yeah, but there's no one. There's no one here for you, but there's no one. So it's not help. You can't help anyone
Yes,
because there's no
exactly.
one.
That's it. Yes, I can't help. Yes.
No. No.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So assuming that she needs help, it's there's because that's what we think. There's something not yet clear, or there are all kind of things. But it doesn't matter. It's not about that's the story. There's always when there's somewhere there's me going on. There's always it's coloring everything. And it can be in all kinds of ways. It can be in some people, it can be in the world, it can be in the house. It's just coloring everything. You can't do anything about that also because that's the same story again.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not wrong. It's just
No,
seeing.
no,
Just
nothing is
oh
wrong, but it's
wow,
so
it's
amazing how,
amazing that it's seen like it's that oh that's so strong.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And it jumps on anything and it's just so convincing, of course. Yeah.
yeah,
It's hanging in, it's hanging, it's energy. So it's not yours that you are in that energy or something like that. It's hanging, I don't know how to say that. It's somewhere. So that can be there. Can be that sense. There can be feeling here. There can be that sense of there's something wrong. And it's amazing, like, oh, how is it possible that it's so strong, that sense that's hanging there? It's not personal. It's not me feeling that, or it's just it's an energy in
mm-hmm,
space, you could say.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it can be there.
Thanks.
Yeah. Mhm. When there's me, everything seems mine. So when there's a feeling hanging somewhere, it feels like, oh, I'm feeling like this. Oh, I'm feeling like that. It's hanging around, and there can be emotion, there can be a feeling or sensation, smell, and it's immediately taken home. Like, oh, what is this? Oh, taken. What can I do? Where does it come from? It's just hanging or just there, and then and then there's the table or something else. Nothing is mine or yours. There's no me. There's no you. It's all. It's one. It's energy. Mm, right. Ah. Could you say That life is what seems to be happening and nothing is appearing in the sense that it comes into existence. Oh, wait. Could you say that life is what seems to be happening and nothing is appearing in the sense that it comes into existence? There's no existence. It's only appearance of tables and streets and feelings, and it's there and it's already something else. So it's not existing. That's too solid, you could say, as I see it. And nothing is divided from anything else now. That and that seems to be happening, so it cannot be known or described. It's already gone. It's like what we normally do is then there's something or information or thought and it's taken home and it's making it in mine, and there's taking thinking a lot of things and trying to work it out, and you can't grasp life. And that's what we try to do, is trying to make life to have control. It's you can't take it home. You can't grasp life. It seems like we're so busy trying to make it happen and trying to do, because everything is real and solid, and thoughts can help in that. Thoughts are mine. I am thinking. No, you're not thinking. Thinking happens. It's thoughting. Or I don't know. Yeah. When nothing happens, it's tabling. And there's tabling, and it's not even real. So it's just that idea that we are real and solid and I am here and to live my life is a misunderstanding. But it's so embodied and seems so real and so confirmed. And it needs confirming, because when all these meetings like this, when there's not confirming that everything is solid and you can do something about it and all that, it falls a bit apart, because it's it's not real. It so falls apart. And suddenly it's like, oh, it's what it is. So there's nothing existing and real life, and then this room, and then we think, yeah, but outside, there's an outside, and there's the world, and I'm going to that street or that place of university or whatever. There is no university, there is no other country, there's this. And that's it changes. It's walling and it's stabling. It's very quick, goes very fast. And then it seems like there's a whole room. So I live in that room and all. Now, then the whole story starts. There is no story. There is no continuation. There's walling. It's very quick, but walling, hand, feeling. I don't know. It's very quick. There's no continuation of Roes or anyone. There's no individual. That what we assume, and what that filling in the gap. So it seems like this is my life and it's happening to me, and I'm going outside to that place and all that. There's no outside. There's also no inside. That's the abstract mind who can imagine that. There's hand, finger, finger. nothing true can be said because there's no real happening in the first place. No, there's no real. No, but it's not true or not true. That's already, then you have to look at it and thinking, oh, this is true. I believe it's true and this is not true or all that. You have to look at it, what you said also. When there's no dividing, when there's what is, then there's no looking at it. So it can't be, there's no separation. There's no dividing in two. Then there's right and wrong or going somewhere. Yeah, it's this. And not even saying that to yourself. It's more in these meetings that it can be said like that. But it's just going by itself without any meaning. And it's everything. Everything can go on, can apparently happen. Yeah. Mm. What about addiction and self-sabotage? Definitely feels worse than living healthy and productively. Yeah, when there's someone and living in the story, it definitely feels better when there's no addiction. But when there's me, there's always something wrong. There's not satisfied, not being satisfied. It's always there's needing someone, or I'm not loved, or there's something wrong in my life. When there's me, there's always something wrong or right. And when there's also me, there's something gone wrong, and there's the world, and or they don't look at me and all that. So there can be trying to deal with that in a certain way and all that. That can happen. But this is talking about something completely else. There's no one. There's no right and wrong. And that doesn't mean that saying to yourself there's no right and wrong, because that's only a concept. But hearing somewhere that there can't be something wrong, that's so it's so convincing that there's underneath, there's so embodied that there's something wrong with me, or and it's because I'm not loved, or because something like that. And then hearing there's also no time. This is not about understanding, because it's not in the story. This is not making the story in a different way or something like that. It's completely out of the story. It's another possibility. There's no choice. So they're saying there's no one. So there's also no choice. There's no choice to be healthy or not healthy. There's no one. It's energetic. And it's not about there's something wrong. When they're saying that there's an addiction maybe in the story, and on top of that there's feeling, oh, there's something wrong, I'm not good and good enough. So it's on top of everything what's going on. It's also that that feeling, I'm not good enough. And this is talking about there's no one. It's not your life. This is not your life. So it's completely out of the story. It doesn't have anything to do with what choices are or how to deal with things. There's no one. Then the whole story is out of the window. It's just falling apart. I don't know what's gonna happen. There can be anything. Doesn't mean it's better or something like that. This is not talking about a better life. It's only describing that there's no one, and that is nothing is happening to you. There is no one, and there's no time, no continuation. So there's nothing happening to something or someone. It's this. There's only singular, this feeling, wall. This is not a new way of living. This is not about advice or a new concept or belief. This is the loss of all that. And this is a complete other possibility that there's no one. It's not happening to someone. There's not someone inside. So nothing is happening to someone. And also there's no time. So there's no continuation. So this is completely something else. The people who speak about liberation do appear to be stable and well adjusted rather than addicts and other people struggling. Maybe. No, there's no addiction because there's nothing trying to make it better. There's nothing going on trying to make life better. It's like there's no escape. When there's liberation, there's suddenly, it's not that it's happening to me, but it's suddenly there's no escape. So there's, and in the same time, there's also nothing going on. There's something wrong with anything. So when there's pain or when there's feeling like this, that can happen, that is not arising. How can I make it how can I make it better? It's not arising. So then there's no escape from that. So that's what's going on. It's full on. It's alive. It's full on. Everything is full on. There's no escape at all. And there's no one. When that's whole construct, like trying to survive and trying to make it better, when that whole survival system is just collapsed, then there's no escape. That doesn't mean that's always a very stable life. There can be sadness, there can be pain, there can be anything. But it's that, and then there's something else, and there's something else, and there's no dealing with anything. There's not trying to make it better. It's what it is. It's not doing that, but there's no escape. So it's life full on, even like that. Maybe stronger. So does the psychology and addictive behaviors tend to sort themselves out? There can be, because there's nothing going on, like trying to make yourself feel better. There's no escape from any feeling. And when there's addiction, I can imagine there's a lot of trying to make you feel better. That doesn't work anymore. Because there's nothing managing it anymore. The body goes back to what it's most natural for it. But there can be drinking wine, or maybe there's that energy that going on. But it's not that it's better or it's more healthy. I don't know. There can be anything. There can be also diseases coming. That it's energetic, so I don't know what will go on. And taking pills, or I don't know. But that whole structure, trying to heal yourself or trying to deal with it or trying to make really trying to feel better about yourself, and taking alcohol or drugs or food or whatever it's taking, and and that's lost. So it's full on. When there's pain or sadness or tired or it's full on, then there's no escape. But there's nothing, the strange thing is there's nothing wrong with that. And then suddenly it's because we are so into that focus, like it should be better, and that's so strong, that survival energy. And when that suddenly that's lost and it's full on in that raw feeling, maybe there's nothing wrong with that feeling. It's energy, and it's doesn't make it more nice, but it's also not awful or something like that. And then after a while, it's not even noticed, and then after a while it's gone. There's something else. Can be. Or a day or days, maybe. Yeah, addiction seems to be about avoiding feelings. Yeah. And then there's no escape. It's not, people think like there's, oh, I want to get rid of the meat. It seems like there's a better life. It's not a better life. Everything is full on. There's no escape from anything because it's not coming. It's just not coming up. It's not trying to make it better, trying to deal with it, trying to work it out in how why is it happening or things like that. There's nothing coming up. What to take to make you feel better. It's just not coming. So it's full on in that way. Oh, fuck. Yeah. It's not all. That seems to be the solution of everything. No, it's not. It's full on in everything. Everything is full on. Look at little children. That's like that. It's full on. They don't have that survival mechanism. That's not happening yet there. So it's full on crying, full, and then something else. Yeah, and then laughing and then it's changing. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah. Most of the time, people don't hear about that because it seems like it's so nice to be no one or something like that. No, no. And yet, there's also that stunning life is joy. And it's not like it's like laughter, joy, or things like that. But it's in a subtle way, it's like celebrating. But it's also celebrating complete being complete that feeling. That's the celebration of that. So there's it's impossible to say, but it's not awful. Nothing is awful. No, but it's what it is. That's for sure. Mm. I guess the pain can be awful. Yeah, it doesn't feel like awful. That's the strange way because that awful is when there's looking at yourself, then there's oh, this is awful. When when that looking at yourself isn't happening, there can be pain and it can be very strong and very sad and very no whatever. But then that sadness is it or painful is it? That's it. There's nothing on top doing something with it or naming it or all that. No, it's just not happening. It's full on that. If that's about feelings, of course. There's somebody saying there has to be more spontaneous anger here. Yeah, there can be. Anger sure can happen. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Same. Ah, wow. Yeah. Yeah, sure. That whole survival system is so restricting. It's about behaving. You have to behave in a certain way to feel good, to be loved, and not whatever all that. And then suddenly that survival system is not working that strongly anymore. It's not like that. So that can be that the some energy is more there. Can be less caring about my behavior overall. Yeah, can be. Yeah, whatever. There's no one, so whatever. Yeah, but it can. What that survival system is also about fear of people saying something, not loving you anymore, or things like that. And when that's not so strong anymore, then suddenly all that behavior can just be there if it's coming. Doesn't need to, but can be. Doesn't need to. If you don't have that, or you think like, oh, I'm not having that anger now. I don't. No, it's so different. Everybody's different. Nothing need to be happening. Then there's anger. Anger is only anger. Yeah. So what? There's anger. There's also the table. What is the difference? Not happening to someone. It's what is happening. Mm. And what is also there is not so much that I can say I don't care. It's also about about behaving. It's also there's nothing busy with it. How to behave, or how to behave in a certain way. There's nothing busy with it. So it's not noticed as coming somewhere. It's not noticed what is the behavior. So it's just like that. Yeah. Mm. So not knowing is a liberation. Now there's already not knowing. But there seems to be a lot of looking at it. It's not so much the knowing, it's the looking, it's the noticing, looking at yourself and being busy with what's going on. And there's the dividing in what's better, what's worse, and to know and to try to things that seem like. So when all knowing is lost, it's not complete liberation. That can be that survival system can be there. Dividing and this is right, this is wrong. You could say that's also knowing in that way. When there's no story, then the story is gone. That's the liberation. There's no one, there's no story, there's no one looking at yourself. There's nothing busy with what's going on. That's not, it's just not happening. There's nothing, when there's something happening, it's not taking it home. It's just not going like that. It's not somebody, it's not that I think about that. It's just not happening. So that's liberation. It's full on. There can be any behavior. Can be, yeah, so. Doesn't mean there's some behavior then saying to someone, I don't like that. What is that? Can be there too. It's everything. So it's not holy. It's just normal. And that's what's difficult about this message, you could say. It's like you can't grasp it. You can't grasp it in what is it? Is it like, oh, there's not knowing? Is it like, oh, it's more and more, everything is coming out? Is it like, no, and all kind of, no, you don't know. It's everything. So it doesn't matter what it is. It's everything already. And that what's always looking at it and trying to make it right and all that, that's lost. For the rest, everything is going on the same way as before. But that whole idea and construct of beliefs, concepts about how to behave and what should and shouldn't and what's better and all that isn't happening. And there's one. It's one. There's no distance. There's no time. There's only one. And it was already. It was already. And I was looking for it and busy trying to heal myself and busy trying to be better, a better person and all that. It was already. There was a misunderstanding, but it was so strong. So there's no difference between all people here. It's already. It's exactly how that face looking, how it's moving. That's complete. It's free energy, wildly performing its magnificent dance. But it's already like that. It's already magnificent. The dance is already there. And everything is, everyone, every person, every body mind is unique. That's amazing. That's so stunning that there's all different body minds and tables and trees and everything without any meaning. It's just different. And everything the mind learn is useless and total bullshit. It's there can be learning, there can be practical things, learning to bike or to skate or anything. But it doesn't mean anything. It's just then there's learning to skate, yeah. Then and if it's happening or not happening, it doesn't matter. But there's that idea that I should succeed in things because that's better and all that. That's the trouble. That can be devastating, that there's no success in all that. It's going nowhere. There can be learning things. Yeah. It doesn't have any meaning. Can be just nice, fun. Just nothing is important. Nothing is important. That's amazing. We think this is more important than that. No, nothing is more important than anything else. It's just that what's happening, and I'm drinking tea or reading a book. Yeah, can be. There's innocence, but there's only innocence. There's only innocence. There's no time, so there's no one, and there's no one. So when there's that anger, maybe it's only anger. It's anger. Yeah, it's not someone's anger. So there's no responsibility in all that. No, that's the story of there's something wrong and you should behave in a certain way. That's only when there's me and I'm here in the story, then there seems to be responsibility and guilt and behaving in a certain way, learning to behave. Yeah, it's meaningless because it's everything. That's life is everything. And we as people, like, we think like we know better. Whoa, no, it's exactly how it is. Leaves, table, streets, a feeling. Not for anyone. It's that feeling is there somewhere in space. Yeah, can happen. Like the table or the wall, the wind. There's nothing wrong. So when there's nothing wrong, there can be learning something. Well, it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't need to be, but can be happening. Something like that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with anything. It's what it is. Reading. It's everything. It's everything. So it's that hand, the form of that hand, exactly like that. That's complete. It's that face, how it's looking. It's a feeling. It's that computer. That's everything. It doesn't matter what it is. It can't be not it. There's no escape from everything because everything is everything. So there's no escape. It's already everything. There's no need. You can't look for it because it's everything. So it's not hidden because it's everything. There's no need for anything. That's the joy. It's like, oh, it's this, it's that. It's like it's everything. It's stunning. It's you can't even. It's so intimate. It's sitting, not for anyone. It's sitting already. Thank you. Mm. Mm-hmm.